Tomorrow is the day of the reveal of LR ESCANOR, and yesterday we took a spin around with Green ESCANOR for the fun of it. Because honestly, with the teasers we've been having, it's really weird. They've only shown base ESCANORs on the teasers, but for me, I'm still convinced it's gonna be the one. I even though the teasers have all been base ESCANOR, I'm still convinced it's gonna be the one because it's just much easier for them. It's just much easier for them to make him look, pretty good. They don't have to alter that much, just like they did with Lost Vein, just enhance a couple of things. I'm so pumped though. I was mentally prepared for the next LR to be Goddess Liz. But I'm really pumped. I'm really pumped for the one or base ESCANOR in general, just an ESCANOR LR. I'm pretty pumped for that. So here's why, with all the teasers we've had, I still think it's gonna be Blue the One. When we look at Lost Vein, right? He wasn't the best. He wasn't the best. But there were still a lot of qualities to him, and the LR Lost Vein enhanced on his already pre-existing qualities and just made them better, right? The one I think is the same, right? There is a power creep that has come since he released, and obviously he can't really keep up anymore when it comes to damage, but he can easily be tuned enough to do so. He has a flood card, right? And what we've seen with Lost Vein was that he had a card that just got an extra effect. That's what happened to Lost Vein. And it's so easy for them to do the same to ESCANOR. This flood card right here, they could add a million effects to it. Right? There are so many options. They could add... I saw a comment saying they could add cleave to it. And imagine, because LR Lost Vein has a ton of crit damage. And he has like absurd crit chance as well. But if ESCANOR had cleave, and, he was given, like... How much crit damage does he have right now? Let's take a look. This is a max passive as well. We'll take a look at max passive. Can I... Thank you. 224. That's not the highest. These days, that's pretty bad. These days, that's not very good. I'll be honest. If he can get to 300% crit damage, right? 300% crit damage. Has Flood and Cleave on the same card... That would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. And then the other card, I don't know what they could do. The problem that I would have with Cleave is that, generally speaking, Cleave units have low crit chance. If you look at Freyr, if you look at Sauriel, those units don't have the highest crit chance. Because, why would they? They have Cleave. So, maybe not Cleave. Maybe they would just put to a crit chance. Or, if they really want to be crazy, they could give him double crit damage, like Mael. Mael's AoE has double crit damage and a debuff. They could give him double crit damage with Flood at the same time, and just give him like a shit ton of crit chance. 270, 280 crit damage, and he would be hitting so freaking hard. So hard. He would like that alone would make him so much better. Obviously, he was need to get a better passive. They could do something with his passive where it doesn't take 3 turns for it to max out. It could just be 2 buffs. Each buff gives like 10% all stats or 15% all stats. I think 15 is fine. Then every 2 turns, he gets immunity to debuffs. I just think with Blue the One, there's just so much that they can do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Blue the One is only the 4th festival we've ever had. But I already can see so many things they can do that would make him so crazy. Because he has a lot going for him. He has very high stats already. They need to change that relic though. I also think the relic is very easy. Currently the relic ignores 30% defense in PvP. That's all the relic does, which is awful because raw defense is a shit stat. I'm sorry, but it's a really bad stat. It's really not good. It's a bad stat. If they were to change the relic to ignore 30% defense-related stats, it could be too much. Honestly, I think it could be, but and remove the restriction for PvP, make him ignore 30% defense related stats in all game modes, and my god, would he be so good for all demonic beasts. So good. Because one thing with Lost Vein is that he is fantastic. He's really damn good. Why did his fur do so little damage? Or tear, sorry. What the hell is that? He missed every crit as well. What does he have in the back? Tristan? What is that? Okay. Let's kill her. I'm just gonna do some damage to her here. Yeah, that's not good. That single target is the one that needs the most change because it has nothing to it, right? It's just a raw 240%. That raw 240 could be so much. There's so it could be a debuff. I think a debuff, a single target debuff, could work. You know, there's not many single target debuffs anymore in this game because when you're debuffing, you want it to be AoE, right? You really do. But they could bind a single target debuff. Could they give him target? If they were to give him target, he would work so well with Bond, which already, like, there's no doubt to me that he would be probably in his best position to be on the Sin team, but he could also, you know, work really well on the human team as well. But I think the Sin team is more likely. So, if they were to give him target, I think it's a low... I don't think they would. But if they were to give him target, it would work so well with Bond. And target is a good debuff. Like, target doesn't need Bond to be a good debuff. Lowering enemy crit chance by 100% is really good. Think of all the characters in the game. Right now, there are main DPSs on teams that use crit. All of them. It's all of them. It's all of them. Lowering crit chance by 100% is a good debuff now. Like, tier is heavily impacted by it. Most of the time, I don't lose a match because of the 100% crit chance lower if I'm using tier. To be honest, I usually just wait it out. But it's annoying. Really annoying. Or if they gave him a disable card. Bro, that would be so insane. If they gave him a disable card that also hits hard, because disable cards hit super low. And they could, because... Let's take a look here. So, Meliodas, right? He got Infect on his AoE. Let me take a look. Who has an Infect AoE? Merlin. Merlin's an Infect AoE. Lolly Merlin. Infect AoE has a 110% multiplier, right? 110. What is Melly's multiplier? 130. It's a higher multiplier. I know it's not damn much higher. It's only 20%, but it's AoE, so AoE multipliers in general. Oh my god, that sucks. Look at this single target, bro. It just sucks. I know she has type advantage, but you gotta think of all of this. Like, I have Diane's damage increase, and I have Zeldrin's passive, and he's still, like, really struggling to do damage. That sucks. But yeah, Infect on Lost Vein has a higher multiplier than Infect it generally does. So I don't think it's far-fetched to think that they could give him a debuff like that. Infect is a 160 single target, of course. Is there any Infect... not Infect, sorry. Disable. Is there a disable AoE in the game? I should know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. That sounds insane. Yeah, this is where ESCANOR is not going to do the best here. Look at this damage. Yeah, 24k. It's tough. It's tough. He needs stats. But like I said, his stats are not bad, but they're outdated, right? They were phenomenal for the time. What position is he on CC right now? I'm gonna take a look because honestly, until not that long ago, he was still very high on the CC list. He was still very high. Let's get his ult. So I'm scrolling here. He is right above, you know, Green Skinny King. Not the old one, but the newer one, the Valentine's Day one, and below Trader Melly. So he's still losing to newer characters that don't have Holy Relics yet, but he wins against some newer characters, okay. So it's not horrible. It's really not horrible. I'm gonna reapply the stance and do this. Or the damage increase. The stance doesn't get reapplied because Jared is level 2. Wait, do I get the damage increase? I think I did, yeah, I did. Even if the stance doesn't reapply, I still get the damage increase. It's just by using the card. Okay. Yeah, but he has just a tiny bit less CC than like Tyr, for example, which is a character that just came out. So if he was to become an LR, and he got like the same treatment, he would obviously have higher CC than Lost Vein. Lost Vein had lower CC than ESCANOR did. I don't know, I just have... I know people are somewhat more excited about green ESCANOR being the LR. Maybe it's because I have really good memories with blue ESCANOR. That was a really good time for the game, blue ESCANOR. It was a time where they still worked on the game. Green ESCANOR was still a good time as well, don't get me wrong, but it was just a really good time for the game. So that maybe that's why I have such good memories of it. And blue ESCANOR was a meta that was easily countered. Some metas we had recently were tough to deal with. Demons were tough to deal with for a long time. Purgatory Bond is like the worst of the worst, I think, meta we've ever had. The more I think about it, I think Goddess Liz doesn't even compare to how bad Purgatory Bond's meta was. It truly was like impossible to deal with him if you didn't have him. But the one you could deal with, even if he was a top meta guy, you could still deal with him in many ways. He was the best, and you really wanted to use him, but it wasn't like impossible to deal with. I think it was a good meta. Relatively speaking to what we've had. To what we've had, you know, for recent times. Assault Melee versus the one ESCANOR. What a throwback. I mean, yeah, Assault Melee. Assault Melee had the better end of the stick, right? As years have come, even though blue ESCANOR was better at the time, Assault Melee got the better Holy Relic. It is what it is. Assault Melee took longer to get the relic. Blue the One should never have got the relic when he did. It was just so embarrassing that Blue the One got such a terrible relic. And it is for multiple reasons. One, they probably just wanted to fade him out of the game. That was definitely... I can't see why else they would give him such a terrible relic. Genuinely. They wanted to fade him out of the game and to make way for Purgatory Bond. Because ESCANOR was blue. I genuinely can only see that as being the reason why his relic was so terrible. And because that was at the same time. He got his relic on the same patch as Bond got his relic, Purgatory Bond. So you have to imagine there was a reason for his... No! For his relic to be so bad, right? And I think that is it. I think that's it. And by the time Assault Melee got his relic, you know, that was long time after. It was by the time where he needed to get such a good relic or else he would be completely unusable. Blue the One, even after he got the relic, you know, he was still usable for a little while. Because he was still good. Such a shame. Such a shame. It's nice for Assault Melee though, because I felt like, you know, Global tried to help with this as much as people crucified Global for trying to do that. Global even tried to help releasing Assault Melee earlier so that he could be played, right? Because Assault Melee releasing after blue ESCANOR meant that Assault Melee had never, until then, had a chance to be a playable unit in the game. Right? Because how? How are you going to use Assault Melee? Blue the One is just straight up better. Why would you even summon for Assault Melee if you know Blue the One's better? That's what they try to do. And people are not happy about that. Fair enough. But Assault Melee eventually did get, you know, his time to shine. He got a little bit like a few weeks where people really try to use him, and he was pretty good with the relic, you know, so cool for him. With the one getting his LR, potentially, we don't know, right? But if the one gets his LR, I wonder when they would be open for Assault Melee LR. Probably a long time from now. Because we already got LR Lost Vein. I think for them to release an LR Assault Melee, it would be a long time from now. Well, that's about it. Let me know what you think. Do you still think Green ESCANOR should be the option? Just hear out, like, all of these things they can do with Blue the One. And it's not going to completely change the character at its essence. It's just a little bit of tweaks here and there. Just like they do with Lost Vein. Just like to do with Lost Vein. How much are you doing here, big boy? Ooh, a cool 48k. Jeez, ESCANOR, calm down.